Okay, hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Writing Glasses. So today I'm going to talk a little bit more about my love for poetry and also what is going to happen with the future of my channel. So let's get started. Why I love poetry. So I have always loved writing. I think I started writing my first novel when I was about 11 or 12. I had a dream and I thought the dream would be a great novel, so I decided to write it. I think I wrote about 12 pages before I realized I did not have the skills, so I stopped. But I started writing poetry around the age of 15. I was going through a very dark time in my life, and poetry really helped me to detach from my emotions, put them on paper and then process them from there. So I did not know much about poetry. I didn't know the styles, I didn't know about rhyme, I just knew that I had to put the words onto paper. So my love really started for poetry when I was 16 years old. So I remember the day so clearly. I was sitting in English class and we had just started looking at poetry in depth. So one of the poems that stuck out, and I always say that changed my life, was Snake by D.H. Lawrence. So for those who don't know what it is about, it's about a man that sees a snake at a water trough. And he thinks how beautiful the snake is, how peaceful the snake looks, and he's admiring the snake. But then he thinks back and he was taught that this snake is poisonous and that the snake must be killed. However, he struggles with the idea of, but I love this snake and I don't want to kill it. And then eventually he throws a rock at it and the snake scurries away. And he immediately regrets his decision of throwing the snake with the rock. And so then it talks about how he questioned what he was taught. He questioned the voices of his education. And for me at that time, that really struck home because I was raised in a certain way, my parents did things in a certain way, and I was just told to accept it. I wasn't told to think for myself or anything like that. So the poem really gave me the idea that don't just accept, rather question and find out the truth for yourself. And so that caused me to be more open-minded, to find my own truth and not to just listen and accept everything. So yes, that's how it started. There were other poems as well that really brought my love for poetry to life. I mean, I loved The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. I loved When I May Have Fears by John Keats. That poem struck home so much. I really enjoyed it. I loved Shakespearean sonnet, especially I think it was sonnet 18 and sonnet 30. Those two, that man, I think Shakespeare is a genius. I don't care what anybody else has to say. So yes, and that's how I started loving poetry. I started writing my own poems in grade 10 when I was 16, when I was 17, but around the age of 17 and 18 I kind of stopped because most of my poems were about despair and sadness. However, I wasn't feeling those emotions so intensely anymore. And then when I was around the age of 20, maybe 19, I started writing more because I drew inspiration from people and things and events and more universal emotions rather than just what I feel at that present moment in time. So yes, that is where it all started. I still write poetry to this day. I would like to say that I follow a style, but I really don't. My poems just spill onto a page. So yes. So what is going to happen with the future of this channel? Let's see. So I will be doing the same things that I did with my first video. So I will be showing you how to recite poetry. I might go a little in depth as to how and the techniques that you use. I will also break down poems line for line and then give you an analysis on them, especially South African poems. I am a South African and I know there isn't a lot of resources that discuss South African poems or post-apartheid, post-colonial poems. So yes. And then I would also like to read you some of the short stories that I write, and how I got to them and my thought process throughout. So yes, there's a lot of things coming to this channel. If there is anything that you would like to see specifically, please comment down below, subscribe, and leave a like. I actually never thought I would be saying this, but thank you. All right, well, bye.